I'm Kimberly Garb. I'm a 21-year-old junior at Louisiana Tech, and today I will explain to you how my life is like a rubber band. So rubber bands are a very common household item. We often don't realize how important rubber bands are or how intense their lives are, especially when they're first being created. So today I will explain how my life is like a rubber band, factoring in how we both gained our strength, how we are able to stretch very much when we're needed, and how we're very useful. So let me explain why I identify with rubber bands so much. First of all, as I said, we were both strengthened, specifically by very intense means. So rubber bands have a reputation of being very strong, but they're originally made of really soft materials, specifically from rubber tapped from rubber trees. But to gain strength, they have to undergo a process called vulcanization. As explained in an article on the website How Rubber Bands Are Made, on a rubber production company's website, Lee Rubber, I learned that rubber bands undergo extreme heat and pressure to strengthen their raw, weak materials they're originally made of. I can relate to this. In my life, I've experienced some pretty taxing circumstances. I consider myself a very sensitive person, but I've struggled with depression and anxiety for a very long time, since I was about 11, and I've definitely experienced some really lower points of these illnesses. But through these circumstances, I've been very strengthened as a person. I've learned how to deal with some very difficult things, and I think in my life it'll help me to be generally overall a better person, able to cope with really frustrating situations. So many of these difficult circumstances required me to be a more flexible person, and as you know, one of the most notable qualities of a rubber band is its flexibility. So rubber bands are constantly being pulled in different directions, and as a biology major and the PR director for a radio station, these jobs really require me to be pulled in different directions all the time. It involves working with people I've never met that I'm not super comfortable with, doing assignments I'm not very familiar with. So I'm pulled in different directions all the time like a rubber band. And as we know, rubber bands kind of need some time to relax. If they're pulled too hard in one direction, they'll snap. And I really want to avoid that. So I try to get as much sleep as I can whenever necessary, whenever I'm not really working, to avoid snapping. So my life, as well as the life of a rubber band, may seem kind of exhausting, but really in the end, all the work we do is very important. So because of that, I consider us both very helpful. Rubber bands are used in many different ways in different places, from bunching fruits and vegetables, to binding mail, to making slingshots, helping remove strips, screws. They have tons of applications, and you can find them pretty much anywhere. In my life, I try to be as helpful as I possibly can, whether it's helping out people in class with assignments, helping new and old members of my job learn the ins and outs and how they can be better members, better DJs, to organizing events and fundraisers, volunteering. I just try to make myself as available and as helpful as I possibly can, anywhere I'm really needed. So today I've explained how my life is like a rubber band. We're both strengthened by intense means, we're both flexible, and very helpful. And I think of all the things I could be compared to, a rubber band's a pretty great one. And I hope that one day I can consider my life or something that I've done as revolutionary as rubber bands. Thank you. So to prove that I follow directions, I have this note card that shows my points. Okay, thanks.